So since we closed out with our last shot, looking at the sky and fading to black, we are going to fade back in to the sky, and then we're going to come down and see the back of Brandon's car. And it's going to have a sticker that says new driver on it, which will make it kind of distinctive. Then the camera is going to continue to move to the left slowly, and then we're going to see Derek looking at his reflection in his rearview mirror. And now we're just coming from the perspective of right behind the rearview mirror, getting our first good look at Derek. And he is looking at himself in the mirror, and then he overhears Brandon. And so we're going to hear dialogue from Brandon off screen saying, "Take care of yourself, honey, okay?" And then Derek's going to look up, and he's going to be looking at Brandon. So then that goes to shot 3, and this is from Derek's perspective looking at Brandon. He has the bar door open, and he says, "I'll see you soon, text me." So in shot 4, we're looking at Derek again, and he puts his arm in the car and grabs a sign, and then we'll sort of back out a little bit as he walks in front of the car. All right, shot 5, Brandon's sort of like drunkenly walking down the sidewalk. Then we're going to pull back even farther on shoot 6, and we're going to see Derek standing on the side holding up the sign, and he's sort of side-eyeing Brandon as Brandon's walking towards him. Shot 7, here's where Brandon and Derek almost cross paths, and we get the reveal of what the sign says. Breakdancing lessons, $100. Shot 8, close-up of Derek's face, and he's sort of like nervously grinning. Shot 9, Brandon's looking back at Derek, and he says, "Oh, I see what you're all about." Shot 10, this is Brandon and Derek in profile. Derek is sort of looking defensive here, because he's like, oh, does he see that I'm sort of full of shit, you know? So he's like, "Oh yeah?" Then Brandon says, "Yeah. You're all about sharing your knowledge of the sacred art, right, brother? Pound it." And then they like bump fists. So here's an over-the-shoulder shot of Brandon looking at Derek. Derek's relieved because he sees that he's got a new mark, you know? So he says to Brandon, "So you're interested in becoming a master breakdancer? Judging by your whole vibe, well, I'd say you're a natural." Shot 12, this is a medium shot of Brandon. And he says, "You know, I've always wanted to learn. $100? Back to the profile shot. It's a back and forth between Derek and Brandon. Derek says, "Per lesson." Brandon says, "Per lesson." What the hell? Why not? Mama's inheritance got to go to something, right? Shit. And she never understood the culture, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Shot 14. We're looking over the shoulder of Brandon again at Derek. He's got a bit of like a devious look on his face, a mischievous look. Derek says, "Faux show. What do you say we get started?" Back to the profile shot one more time. This is going to be a quick back and forth. Brandon says, "Right now?" Derek says, "Why not?" Brandon says, "Shit, okay." And then they kind of stand there a moment, and maybe Derek can like clear his throat a little bit, be like, and Brandon's going to realize and go, "Oh, right, and then he's going to pull out his wallet. So that moves us to shot 16. It's what I'm calling a hand shot, a close-up of someone's hand, right? Because I realize I already have several of these in here. So we're following his hand to his back pocket, and he's taking out the wallet. And then it continues. We watch his hands as he opens the wallet, and we see a fat wad of cash inside the wallet. Brandon also has dialogue as he's grabbing into the wallet, and he's like, "Oh, right," because he's grabbing the money. Shot 17. Now this is looking up almost from the wallet's perspective at Derek, looking wide-eyed at the amount of cash that this dude carries with him. Shot 18, this is over the shoulder of Derek this time towards Brandon, and Brandon gets a little self-conscious here, but he's still kind of like naive about it. In a second that he's noticing that Derek sees how much money he has. Brandon says, "I don't really trust banks. They're all run by con artists." Real close-up shot of Derek at shot 19, and he's like, "I know what you mean." Shot 20, we're moving back to that profile shot one more time. Brandon says, "So, you got any cardboard?" Derek replies, "Oh, we got a long way to go before we break that out." All right, so we moved locations, sort of. We're just moving back to the area where Derek's car is here. And this is the beginning of what I'm calling the montage sequence. We're starting back on shot 1 again. So this is shot 1 of the montage sequence. It's over the shoulder of Derek. He's looking down at Brandon as Brandon is removing lug nuts to like change Derek's tire. Derek says, "Before one becomes a true breakdancer, one must first learn discipline." Shot 2, this is a full body shot of Brandon as he is removing the lug nut from the car. Derek continues off screen. "Concentrate on regaining control of every facet of your life, both internal and external." Shot 3 is just a close-up of Derek's face as he's finishing that phrase. Shot 4, now we're moving to a hill in the park in Maryville, and we're looking at an over-the-shoulder of Derek as he's watching Brandon running up a hill. Derek says, "You must act with a focus even greater than that of hip-hop's founding fathers." Shoot 5, we have Derek on the right-hand side of the image, and then we see Brandon run up to the top of the hill and meet him and fill out the right-hand side of the image. And as he does that, he's pulling out his wallet to hand over money to Derek. Derek says during this sequence, "Channel the power of those who came before you." All right, and that pretty much concludes the montage sequence. Very short sequence, because now we have moved into the wilderness, which will be shot out in the woods. So shot 1 in the wilderness is going to be our introduction to what's called in the script the unknown point of view. It is a first-person perspective of somebody viewing the events that are happening. There will be visual and audio cues to sort of tell people that you are experiencing the perspective of this person. Think Michael Myers is a perfect example of, you're seeing things from Michael Myers' point of view, right? Okay. Anyway, so shot 1, this unknown point of view is moving through the woods and peeking out. This point of view sees Derek's car parked on the edge of the woods. Shot 2, we're looking at Brandon, and he is cross-legged and he's meditating at the base of a tree. Shot 3, we see Derek move in and sort of wave his hand in front of Brandon's face to make sure that his eyes are closed and he can't see what he's doing while he's meditating. Shot 4, we're moving with Derek as he's walking away from Brandon. Derek says, "Finally, in order to achieve the balance necessary to spin on one's head like a top, one must first achieve balance in one's spirit." Now we're in front of the bag that Derek will be reaching into. He grabs a rope, and we move up with the rope to the point where we are seeing Derek now holding the rope. He says, "One's very soul, concentrate only on your breathing." Shot 6, we get a close-up shot at Brandon as he's deep in meditation. Shot 7, we're returning to the first-person point of view as it's creeping through the wilderness. So here we have shots 8 and 9. So basically what we're doing is that these are both extended shots, and we're going to shoot them twice, and then it's going to be moving back and forth between these two actions. So shot 8 is a close-up of Brandon. Tears well up in his eyes as he reaches this peak bliss moment. Shot 9 is Derek as he's conversing with him. He's going to turn around and put the rope behind his back, and he's going to slowly approach Brandon with the rope. So I'll just run through the dialogue and we'll cut back and forth and you'll see how it will sort of work. Brandon says, "I saw it, Derek." And Derek says, "Good, Brandon." But then he realizes that maybe he's talking about the rope. So he turns around and he says, "Wait, saw what exactly?" Brandon says, "It all makes sense now." Derek, getting more defensive, says, "Easy there, friend." Brandon says, "It does. It all makes sense now. All of it. Why we're all here in the first place, as opposed to just black, Why there's so much pain, suffering in the world. It's all connected. We're all connected. It's just so beautiful." And then Derek sort of stops and he's like, "What? Really?" Because he's so taken aback about what just happened. Brandon says, "Yes, Derek. I can see how my personality is formed around my insecurities and how I'm in no way unique. I get what makes people tick. I even understand why you've been scamming me this entire time." We move back to the unknown point of view as it creeps closer through the woods, and it's hearing the dialogue that's happening between Derek and Brandon from a distance. So you hear Derek off screen, Now hold on just a second. Can you blame me? Breakdancing lessons, you fucking bozo? Brandon says, hey, it's okay, man. And Derek says, no, fuck you! Survival of the fittest, friend! I'm the lion, and that makes you... And now we cut back out of the unknown point of view's perspective into a profile shot of Derek putting the rope around Brandon. Derek says, the fucking lamb! Shot 11, we're over the shoulder now, of Derek as he's lifting Brandon up against the tree. Shot 12, we return to unknown point of view. Brandon is looking at the camera at the unknown point of view as the unknown point of view is peeking through what's happening in the brush, but doesn't react, doesn't say anything while Derek is still choking him. Shot 13 is a profile shot. The two characters enter the shot, and Brandon hits the ground while Derek is choking him. Derek's going, die, die, just fucking die! Shot 14 is a shot from behind Derek's head looking down at Brandon, as Brandon is moving his hand towards Derek's face in the form of like a claw. Shot 15, we're looking at Derek as Brandon's hand moves towards it, and he has this like animalistic rage because he's like choking this guy with a rope. As Brandon's hand gets closer, though, it softens, and he just sort of caresses Derek's cheek. And in that moment, Derek's rage breaks, and he's just overcome by sadness. And all the while, Derek's just like, die! Die! Shot 16, we return to Brandon's face as he's still being choked. We hear Derek off-screen say, just, please, fucking die. Shot 17, we return to that profile shot of him choking him, and this is sort of Brandon's, like, last gasps. He's like, you know what I'm saying? And then we're still there as Derek is having the realization that he's dead, and he sort of lets go of the rope. In that moment, you hear a scurry in the wilderness, and Derek turns his head to see what's going on. Shot 18, we go to the spot from where the unknown point of view was, and we see that the unknown point of view isn't there. Shot 19, we go to the exact same spot from where the point of view was looking, and we see Derek get up from standing over Brandon and walk towards it. Shot 20 is a continuous shot. We're starting a medium up shot of Derek as he is looking really closely in that spot where the unknown point of view is standing. Then Derek turns around and starts slowly walking back towards Brandon's body. Shot 21, also a continuous shot. With all the scenes with Brandon, he's wearing red glasses. So while he's being choked, the red glasses fall off and they're like sitting next to Brandon's dead body. Then we see Derek's foot move in front of the glasses. And then he leans down and picks the glasses up. Shot 22, we're looking at Derek as he's looking at the glasses. And he's thinking deeply, and this is kind of the moment that breaks him. So shot 23, we move out to a full body shot. He dramatically goes, fuck! You know, like, con, but fuck! Shot 24, we move out to the area where Derek's car is parked against the tree line, and we're still hearing the fuck! Shot 25, we've now moved to a creek close by in the woods, and we're seeing Derek as he's dragging Brandon's body towards the creek. Shot 26, we're looking at Brandon as he's being dragged from Derek's perspective. Shot 27, we swap it and we look at Derek almost from Brandon's perspective, looking down. And we now see that he's wearing the glasses. So shots 28 and 30, these are also what I would call hand shots. So I just put a hand here to represent it. But this is sort of what's happening. So we are following Derek's hand as he moves down and reaches into Brandon's pants. As he's doing that, he feels a gun. So he pulls the gun out. Shot 29, we're looking waist up at Derek as he's inspecting the gun. Probably wondering to himself, if Brandon had a gun the whole time, why didn't he pull out the gun while I'm suffocating him, right? And then he puts the gun in his own waistband. Shot 30, we return to the hand again, and this is sort of like a rhyming shot with shot 28. So he goes back into Derek's pants, he pulls out the wallet, he opens the wallet, takes the cash out, and throws the wallet into the stream. And finally, shot 31 is Derek throwing Brandon into the stream. There may be a shot or two after that, but it's going to be very contextual as far as what kind of water we're looking at. We have several contingencies depending on how much water there is. And so that'll be a fun surprise there at the end when we get there, okay? So that wraps it up, guys. And yeah, holler at you.